Hey, Taco, last week I was on holiday. You and Casper spoke about China. Why is it so important that people have watched that edition of the Market Reporters? And if they haven't watched it, they should watch it back here by the link at the top. Why is that so important? You're going to answer the question, right?
You will find out in a moment, yes. But first,
What happened?
what happened? I think last week also we announced that there was not too much news programmed for this week. Today, actually, it is the expiration of the options.
Yes.
The third Friday of September. Actually, I forgot to mention that last week.
Yeah.
But of course, it is always important for us and for the clients. And the September expiration is actually not the biggest one, but also not the smallest one.
It is an important moment. Yeah?
Exactly.
And I mentioned to you yesterday that now, from the 16th of September until the 26th of October, all US companies are not allowed to buy back shares.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if we look in the past on the statistics, what is the return on the stock market over this period? So from the 16th of September until the 26th of October, the return over the last 71 years, so we're not talking about 10 years, 71 years was minus 9%. So we could say that it is actually, if you want to step in now, think twice, or maybe do it smaller or whatever, but it has proven to be not the best.
It's very interesting that you found it, because we mentioned also last week like September is not the best month of the stock markets, although the US markets, historically speaking, have a great result.
Yeah.
September is a very bad month, and it might be because of that, so very interesting to know that.
Yeah, specifically for the US.
Well, that was actually the week, basically. No, and the markets, of course, also at high levels. US markets not the highest points, but still close to it. Some European markets at the highest points. So that's the story of last month, no?
Yeah, I think so. We saw yesterday in the US the economical data coming out on the jobless claims and the retail sales.
Yeah.
The retail sales were really good for the month of August, but they also announced that the July was less good, so they adapted the July figures, so those were not that good. And also we saw that the unemployment was slightly higher than expected. They expected 312,000 jobs to be claimed, people looking for jobs, and it was 330 something. So mixed news, and you saw the US markets going down yesterday slightly, no?
Yeah.
What's hot? China, no?
Well, I think so, yes. I was actually last week surprised when Casper explained everything, that there was not more in the news about this subject.
Another thing that's hot, unfortunately, is the biggest, or some say it's the second one, but let's say it's the biggest real estate group of China that's almost bankrupt.
Evergrande. And this week, everywhere in all media, exactly the same message actually. Be careful what's happening there. So
I think we had the premiere.
Casper explained how he got that information. It was like not really publicly. I suppose if you really looked into it, but it was not in the general media.
No.
So I was surprised that he knew this, and now it's like everyone following it.
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, think about the importance of that news. That was, I mean, if you think about 2007, 2008, when real estate developers cannot pay back their interest, because of course that is a sector with a lot of leverage, a lot of loans. If they start, that was the beginning of the credit crunch in 2008. So if that is like, I will not make the same comparison, but if it is like the pandemic, it starts in China and it moves across the globe, well then we are in front of some heavy times. So
I also heard today actually interesting that it's not you cannot exclude the possibility that China says, okay, if a company goes bankrupt, that's it. Rules are rules. And we are maybe expecting in the Europe, that something will be
exactly because
solved because of but they could be said, look, and it happened before, so it's not sure that although the stakes are very high, that they will intervene, and also they are possibly capable to solve it. You know, there will be big problems nationally and maybe internationally, but the national problems, they could be capable of solving that. So it really could be, and I think next week, Casper said already that next Tuesday there's an important moment because then they have to pay some amount, and if they're not, they are in default.
Well, they already said that they will not be able to do it.
Yeah, well, I think that's really then done, then we'll see what happens. But China could say that, okay, this is like you don't follow the rules, you are bankrupt, you are bankrupt.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I also, because yesterday we saw on the Dutch, one of the Dutch analysts on the Dutch TV, he said, China will, the government is so much involved, they will procure that it doesn't go to anything further. But
I think no one knows. I mean, the culture differences might also be an issue, that in Holland I think it wouldn't be possible that something happened, but let's see.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at in total over the last weeks, you and Casper spoke a lot about China, but there's a lot of things that have happened, it come basically down to 5 big things that made the stock market in China not move that well. It's data protection, limiting additional education, so the educational companies, they're not allowed to sell their additional courses, better employment conditions for the mail people, so the delivery people, limited hours of gaming, so the computer game companies such as Tencent, etc., they were affected by that, and taxi companies are under scope. So there's a lot of those main 5 drivers that caused that the Chinese markets were under so much pressure. What else?
Well, I also had a look at Continental AG. The company, I'm not a real car expert to be honest, but it was interesting to see because I had some questions also of relations. Yesterday, the spin-off of the company, Vitesco, was having his first trading day as a listed company. And that's actually the former powertrain business area of the company. So we know all, I think, Continental, famous as a global auto supplier and a tire maker. Actually, 40% is from the rubber group, 60% of the automotive. But they decided in 2018 already to spin off the powertrain area. And it was trading yesterday for the first day, around 60 euros. It went down 3 euros, but today I saw it's back at 60. And it's interesting to see that a big company, because it's fully related to the electric, part of the company. So they actually split it off, a new company. And I think it's interesting to see fully focused also on the ESG principles.
Of course, everybody.
So the focus will be on the, within 10 years to have so much part of the company, electrically. So that was yesterday actually. What's more hot?
I think what is hot is we're in front of the fall and the winter, so we are going to heat up our houses again a little bit more than over the past couple of months. So, and for that you need natural gas, and natural gas is really hot because the prices have gone up not less than 100% over a year, and that has difficult things. There's supply concerns, so there's difficulties with supply, specifically in the US, and also the rising demand, because we need specifically for sustainable stuff, a lot of these generators, they run on gas. So a lot of the companies, larger companies in the US, EQ2, Range Resources, Cabot Oil, Antero Resources, companies that I was not really familiar with, but they have nearly doubled in value on the stock market. And the prediction is that now, due to the shortage, that the prices, and we're in front of the winter, of course, where a lot of gas is needed, that the prices will go up even further. If you want to trade natural gas, it's funny, the name is Henry Hub Natural Gas. It is a future, and that future, for the first time since the 70s, went above $5 per 1 million Brit thermal units. So that's how you announce it. Like gold is per troy ounce. This is the $5 per 1 million Brit thermal units. It's very important. Natural gas is also needed for fertilizers, production of paper, production of chemicals, and a lot of other products. And there's a huge difference between the price in natural gas in the US, which is about $5, and the price in Europe. In Europe, we are paying $20 for the same amount of gas as in the US. And I had an interesting article here that the company Fusco, which is a large natural gas producer, they have sold out their 90% of their stock for the next 20 years. So those guys are basically up till their pension, they are fine, they have buyers. Of course, there's risk because at this moment, only in the US, 3% of the power supply comes from natural resources like wind and solar, and of course Biden announced his plans to get this up to at least 50% by 2050. So there might be some risk that this might change. Another thing is also, and that's specifically in Europe, we are taking a lot of gas from Russia, and Russia, they closed the tap slightly in July and August, and there's different reasons. They say, first of all, that they use this period of the year to do maintenance because they don't want to have a fallout in winter, because then obviously they are screwed, because they need the gas to heat the houses. And then another rumor is that they are already preparing to go through Nord Stream 2, which is the new pipeline, and that's why they've stopped the export of gas to Europe at the moment. But an interesting move. It's very important. We use gas on a daily basis for this piece of paper for everything, and the prices has come really expensive for the first time. So next, I think you mentioned already, no?
Yeah, two things. Well, like last week,
Evergrande.
Evergrande Tuesday, and not forget Monday, the DAX Continental, of course, listed in Frankfurt and part of the DAX 30. That will be the DAX 40 next Monday.
Okay. Well, if you like our video, please give us a thumb up, and we hope to see you next week.
Thank you.